generations and whether the planet itself survives. I'm here in Omaha because the time to act is now. The time to fight back is now. And let me give you some good news and bad news. The bad news is that in my view, and I have some knowledge and experience in this as a U.S. Senator, Trumpism with on and all over this country will come together at the grassroots level like we are doing tonight. Cuts in programs that the working class desperately needs, and no to huge tax breaks for the billionaires and the 1%. Form of society in which a handful of multi-billionaires not only have extraordinary wealth, but unprecedented economic, media, and political. And Mark Zuckerberg, the three, you know those guys. They are the three wealthiest people in America, right behind the president as he's getting sworn. But it is not only that Trump is surrounded and working for the wealthiest people in this country. That is one reality. Let me tell you another reality that I know that many of you know all too well. This country, major housing crisis. All over this country, major healthcare crisis. All over this country, the price of food going up at the grocery store. Cost of child care. So in America today, right now, you don't see it much on TV or in the papers, but right now, we have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever. Today, the top 1% owns more wealth than the bottom 90%. And while the very wealthiest people become phenomenally richer, there is another reality of our people in America today are living paycheck to paycheck. You all know what that means? I grew up in a family, in a rent-controlled apartment. We live paycheck to paycheck. And I will never, a million of our people are uninsured or underinsured. Now, you don't hear about it much. I was chairman of the committee that dealt with this stuff. Over 60,000 Americans die every year because they are living, trying to survive on wages less than $15 an hour. 25% of our senior citizens are trying to live on incomes of working families. But when we talk about oligarchy and what's going on in this country, it's not just that the rich are getting richer while working families struggle. Oligarchy is about political power in a way that we have never seen. Just Republicans. Billionaires contribute to the Democratic Party as well. And that is why if we're going to restore democracy to this country, we got to get rid of the Citizens United Supreme Court decision. Person, one vote. And that is why, in my view, we got to move to public funding of elections. And let me tell you how bad and corrupt the situation is. In Germany tomorrow, very important election, Musk has supported a right-wing extremist party. And to tell you how crazy it is, how arrogant these people are in your neighborhood. And if you can believe it, Elon Musk is getting involved in that campaign to defeat that candidate. Probably the 6th grade, but also every year in a city called Virgins, Vermont, I go to the Memorial Day parade. It's a beautiful event. And every year we go up on the platform and the people who do the parade bring up some high school kid to read Abraham Lincoln's speech as those who gave their lives. And he says, and I quote, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people for 250 years fought and died for. That is how we became the model for the rest of the world. People look to America and they say, how come ordinary people can vote, can elect their leaders? Why can't we? And But brothers and sisters, we're not just fighting oligarchy, we are fighting Trump's rapid movement toward authoritarianism in this country. Some of you may have seen anything he wants to do, the law does not apply to him. And that is exactly how he has been behaving, in violation of the Constitution and federal law. Stop them for the moment. He has eviscerated major agencies like USAID, the Consumer Safety Protection Board, which has helped ordinary Americans gain billions and billions of dollars from the illegal actions of banks and corporations. They have eviscerated and not have a functioning NLRB. That means those workers will not be able to join the union. But he's not only usurping the powers of Congress, he is also challenging the authority of the federal court system. And I'll tell you what, it's not only usurping the power of Congress, challenging the court system, he is doing what authoritarians all over the world do. You go after the media. They have sued ABC because they didn't like a program. They are suing. And now the FCC is investigating PBS and NPR. So what he is doing is not very hard to understand. You're in the media, work for some small company, you want to do a critical. And the other thing, the other reason that I am here this evening is not just our great fear of oligarchy, authoritarianism, the big lie that comes out of Trump's mouth every day. Climate change is a hoax coming from China. Trump thinks that January 6th insurrection was a love fest. Bunch of hippies spreading the love. But Trump's idea, it is a beautiful bill. So if Trump thinks it's a beautiful bill, watch out. And what? I think somebody is leaning on a light switch there. All right. And what is, so you would think that at a time when people like Musk are worth $400 billion, Bezos $250 billion, Zuckerberg a mere $225, whatever it is, you would think they would have enough. But no. They want more. And our healthcare system is already broken. They want to make massive cuts to Medicaid. Medicaid provides health care to many millions go into nursing homes. So we got a nursing home crisis in America. You cut Medicaid, there'll be a lot of families that will not be able to send their parents into a nursing home. Medicaid provides substantial funding right now. Is Republican leadership, as we speak, are working on this bill. Massive tax breaks for the rich, paid for by cuts to Medicaid, education, housing, and the programs that working people need. You have a 3-vote majority. That is not much. If 2 Republicans go to the Speaker of the House and say, Mr. Speaker, no way am I going to betray my constituents. No way am I going to make massive cuts in Medicaid and other programs. And what I am asking you to do is make sure that your congressman, Mr. Bacon, is one of those 2 Republicans. Is to take out your phones and go to BernieSanders.com/Nebraska, underlined. And there you will find the phone numbers of your senators and members of Congress.